Am I the a-hole for refusing to forgive my brother for sleeping with my now ex-girlfriend after my accident and for refusing him closure? I, 33 male, was in an accident when I was 22 years old. It was nearly fatal, and I suffered a TBI as a result. I had been dating Jessie, 33 female, for 5.5 years at that point, and she was at the hospital with my family, including my older brother Cameron, 35 male. Soon after the accident, Jessie found out she was pregnant and terminated with Cameron's help. A while after that, they started having an affair. My sister caught them and forced them to tell me when I recovered enough. Jessie eventually confessed, but she acted like we were going to work through it. I made it clear that would never happen, and I told her I never wanted to see her again, and that I wouldn't be going back to our place ever again. Cameron tried to shame me for that, but I kicked him out and refused to see him. Our sister let him know he was dead to me, and that I'd never forgive him for it. For a while, he let me work on recovery, but he tried to make amends or whatever. I rejected it, and then I found out he and Jessie were together and expecting a baby. The whole thing made recovery so much worse, and my sister was honestly the best support and the only person I fully trusted through it all. My parents wanted me to work things out with Cameron and Jessie. They wanted us to be a family, and I just couldn't deal with them trying to force me into that after the way I'd been treated. My sister had to be my advocate at times when I couldn't do it myself. I'm back to normal now, but had a health scare last year in the run-up to my wedding. It was stress-related. Cameron found out about the health scare in April, and he asked our sister for my contact details. She refused to give them, so he started showing up at her house until he caught me and my wife there. He was demanding answers about why nobody let him know sooner about the health scare, and why I wouldn't let her share my details. He said we needed to put this to bed once and for all and get closure. I told him I needed no closure, and because he was digging in his heels, I decided to tell him to get lost one more time for good measure. He told me he and Jessie both need my forgiveness, and that they need me in their lives because their kids ask questions and it sucks not having answers. I told him I'll never forgive them, never let them back into my life, and screw him for putting his kids' questions on anyone but him and Jessie. I told him I'll never give him the comfort of closure. I said he should try being in my position 11 years ago, and then have the people who stomped all over you try to demand forgiveness and closure. I told him to get over himself. My sister had to call the police to make him leave. He would not go. She heard from him afterward, and he was ranting at her that I was willing to die spiting them and it's wrong, and if I'm happy, I should move on and forgive, etc. She blocked him and told our parents she is completely done with Cameron too. They're so upset over what happened, and they asked me if there was nothing that could be done to make me forgive. They said they hated keeping my health scare from Cameron and would hate for him to miss out on saying goodbye if the worst happened to me. I told them he should have thought about that before everything. They begged me to be more loving. I admit it pisses me off that they want to brush this all away and for us to play pretend. But am I the a-hole because I won't actually work on forgiving and allowing them closure? Now for the top comments. Your sister is a star. The termination of the pregnancy. Was it yours or his? It's not really clear. Yes, she is. And I'm so glad she found out. Otherwise, I could have lived in the dark and raised Cameron's kid not realizing. The pregnancy she terminated was mine, but with Cameron's help. He took her to the clinic, etc. And the affair started after that. Such a romantic way to fall in love. Not the a-hole. What exactly do they want you to do? Tell the kids how their parents cheated, that their mom actually been pregnant with their cousin, which led to said cheating, and that you hate their parents' guts? Like, what exactly do they think would be smart about forcing a relationship? You owe them crap, and your parents show clear favoritism. That they still don't understand why 2 of their kids now is no contact. They expect me to be the loving uncle, brother, and brother-in-law, and to act like the past never happened. But you don't forget stuff like that. Nor should you. Get a restraining order on that a-hat of a brother, so you can be completely done with him. No one is entitled to forgiveness. Your brother's a special kind of POS. How entitled his brother is to feel he needs health updates on OP when he cheated on him with his girlfriend when he was literally in the worst health condition of his life. What a prick. Next story. Am I the a-hole for buying my granddaughter's school supplies instead of paying towards my stepson's back child support? I'm 52 female, have been married to my husband for 8 years. We both have adult children from previous relationships. My stepson is 31, is sort of shiftless in employment. He works sometimes, works for cash, works out of state on temporary jobs, etc. He's never worked a regular steady job. He generally does odd jobs until he falls behind in all his bills. Then he takes a temporary job, usually construction out of state. He'll hire on with a crew remodeling Walmarts or doing a plant turnaround. Don't ask, because I have no idea what that means. And make like $2,500 a week, but the job only lasts 4 to 6 weeks. He gets caught up on bills and goes back to doing odd jobs until he falls behind again. He has an 11-year-old that he sees sometimes, depending on his work schedule. He's $2,000 behind in child support and paying enough every month to keep it from getting turned over to enforcement. Our granddaughter called me and asked me to buy her school stuff. I took her shopping and got her clothes, shoes, school jacket, PE uniform, and supplies. My stepson was cleaning the pool, we pay him, when we got home and helped us unload the stuff from my car. After her mom picked her up, he approached me and asked how much I spent. I didn't keep track, so I didn't know right off. He was annoyed and said it had to be close to $1,000, which is half of what he owes in back child support. My stepson thinks I'm an a-hole because I didn't pay the money towards his back child support and let her mom take her shopping, because that's what child support is for. My husband has no opinion about it. I think his child support is his responsibility, and if I want to buy my granddaughter nicer things than her parents can afford, that's got nothing to do with him owing her basic support. Her mom appreciates that I buy things she can't afford to provide. She's used to the way he pays support, knows she can't count on it for monthly expenses, but also knows she'll eventually get it and uses it for big, once-in-a-while expenses, like new tires for her car. Info. Just want to make sure I'm reading this right. The grandchild you're talking about is the stepson's child, and he's mad that you bought his child school supplies and clothes? If that's right, he's completely freaking ridiculous, and you are not the a-hole in any kind of way. Also, I think it's great you have accepted her as your grandchild and treat her like your own granddaughter. Yes, we are talking about my stepson's child. He thinks I should have paid the money towards his back child support, and then her mother could have taken her to get school supplies with the money. They didn't really see her at all until I started getting her. I literally just knocked on her door, introduced myself, explained that I had married stepson's dad, and that I was interested in establishing a relationship with stepson's daughter. She was almost 4 then. Of course, her mom was cautious at first, but it didn't take long for her to feel comfortable with me. I pick her up when I want, keep her for whole weekends, take her on week-long vacations, out-of-state cruises out of the county, half-days on holidays. My in-laws swear she intentionally kept them away, but I have always found her to be extremely reasonable. Wanna bet that the minute his kid no longer has mandated child support, stepson gets a full-time job? His bad behavior and choices are not on you. Part of being an adult is paying your debts. You did something nice for his kid. The only words out of his mouth should have been, "Thank you." I think they call that retroactive child support, and mom can keep him on the hook for however long it takes. He's a damn fool to think she isn't gonna get a payday eventually. True story. My baby daddy played that game and still owes over $20,000, and our kid just turned 21. And it's probably not mom keeping him on the hook. That's usually done through a government agency that keeps track. And when he stops paying, they put him on a watch list to screen for new employment without waiting for him to notify them. So, you've stepped up as a grandmother more than her own father has stepped up for her. Honestly, your stepson can suck it. Keep being a good grandmom. I actually missed my daughter who grew up and wanted a little girl to spoil. It's good for her, but I like having her around, so it's good for me too. Next story. Am I the a-hole for running away because my parents were late to my graduation over a labubu? Okay, I know this sounds ridiculous and insane. I, 18 female, am adopted and was adopted as a baby. My parents thought they couldn't have kids, even tried IVF. So when my sister Princess 10 female was born, it was a miracle. Everything changed. Princess was spoiled and clearly the favorite. She never got in trouble, was always right, got whatever she wanted, and acted however she wanted. My parents did treat me badly though, but if I got one toy, Princess got 5. It sucked. I was jealous, and I got in trouble for it. Princess got worse around age 6 when she realized how much she could get away with. She broke my things, hurt others, stole, and hated when anyone else had attention. I became a target. Luckily, I had friends, school, and relatives for support, so it wasn't the worst. I did great in school and joined clubs and sports just to stay out of the house. During the summer, I worked or interned just to avoid her. Now I have a car and a boyfriend since sophomore year. I stay with him a lot and his family loves me, so I'm barely home, maybe 24 hours at most weekly. My parents didn't care, and this was my normal, so I stopped caring too. Anyway, graduation was last month, one of the few things I asked my parents to come to. I was excited, they seemed excited, and some relatives came too. But Princess had to ruin it. See, her current obsession is these doll plush keychains called La Boobas. She collects them, and on that specific day, she found this super rare one for sale in our city. Now, instead of contacting the seller and buying it the next day, my parents went to get it. And not only that, they spent $350. My graduation gift was $150 for comparison. Then they showed up, so late our caps were already being tossed. I was hurt. After graduation, I ignored them and went home with my boyfriend. I've basically moved in with him at this point, since any time I went back home, it was to get my things to go back. My parents called, texted, apologized, even came over and begged me to forgive them. The worst part of it all, they think it's about the money and sent me another $100. But I refused to talk to them. Now it's serious, as they're threatening to report me as missing and a runaway and contact my future college if I don't go back home. I feel justified in my actions and don't think it's that serious. But am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. You are a high school graduate and a legal adult. You didn't run away, you simply moved out. Tell your parents to have fun reporting you. The only thing they might have a case on is the car. Who is the legal title holder? Same thing happened to me. My folks missed my grad brunch for my sister's cheer thing. I didn't even get mad, just stopped showing up. Keep your boundaries solid. You're not being dramatic, you're just done being the afterthought. Respect. Real talk, bro, that hits hard. When you stop showing up, they finally feel what you've been dealing with the whole time. It's not even about being petty, it's just knowing your worth and moving different. Mad respect for choosing peace over chasing validation. Not the a-hole. You're 18. You're no longer a minor. Even if they tell the police your exact location, the most the police will do is ask if you left willingly. Thank you so much. I hope so since it's a small town. I don't want to somehow be forced to go back home. I would call your future college and explain that you are estranged from your parents. Tell them your parents are threatening to call the college and make a scene. Update all your contact info. Ask that a note be put on your profile that you do not authorize them to make any changes or obtain any information. I have a friend who is the assistant to a college dean, and she has told us some sad stories. Get in front of this one. Last story. Am I the a-hole for deciding to stay with my dad because I don't want to spend time with my stepbrother? My parents are divorced, and they shared custody of me until 2 years ago. There was a fight over custody, and the judge decided that I, 16 male, could choose which house to stay in at any point if I wanted to, which meant neither of my parents won, and the decision was put in my hands. Until now, I had chosen to keep splitting the time between both houses, but a few weeks ago, I decided I wanted to live with my dad. So I told my mom I wasn't coming back to her house. She wasn't happy about it, obviously, and she hates my reason for making this decision. The TLDR version is, my mom's remarried and has 3 stepkids, my 2 stepsisters and my stepbrother. My stepbrother is neurodivergent, and he's super exhausting to be around. Because I'm the only other boy in the house. He fixated on me because of it. He's super misogynistic and says stuff that really hurts his sisters. I get so tired of him following me around and copying me and the things I do. There is no such thing as personal space with him. He's always in my room or in my face, and there are times I've come back from Dad's house and he slept in my room instead of his own. He's tried to make me eat like he does too, and he destroyed a bunch of snacks that were mine, that I even bought, because he didn't like them, and he wants us to like the same stuff. My mom can't talk to him because he doesn't listen to her at all. 1, because she's not his mom, and 2, because she's a woman. My stepbrother's dad coddles him to the extreme and always brings up how he has additional needs and challenges other kids have. We fight about his son a lot because he thinks I should love his kids and make sure I take extra care when being around his son. My breaking point was my stepbrother moving all his stuff into my room and deciding we'll share. He's 10 and already so in my face, and even still with that age gap, it's a no. And he's not even my brother. He's my stepbrother. And things are already weird enough. But his dad and my mom let him move his stuff and let him declare we'd share a room now. It was getting harder not to lash out at him, never physically. And I don't care about him in a way that I'd want to be the sibling who teaches him. I don't even consider him my actual sibling at all. If my mom's marriage was over tomorrow, I'd have nothing more to do with him. So yeah, I decided to move in with Dad. I told my mom exactly why, and she hated my reason. She said it's so unkind and will make my step-siblings feel so abandoned. She said my stepbrother won't fully understand, and my stepsisters will lose the brother who isn't an a-hole to them. I told her none of them were my problem, and I won't make myself unhappy to help them. My mom asked how I could leave her so easily, and I said because her house is my worst nightmare, and I said it was going to all go from bad to worse if I finally lost it with that kid. My mom's still trying to change my mind, and she even tried to force my dad to invite my step-siblings over so we could all hang out. I don't want that, not even the girls. I just want to be left alone and to not deal with the BS my mom dragged me into. Am I the a-hole? Poor freaking daughters. Not only is your mom an a-hole, but Lord, your stepdad. He's in a few years gonna wonder where the heck his daughters went off to, because they gonna be out the door the second they turn 18, and your stepbrother either never gonna move out or be in jail with that mindset. Not the a-hole at all. I would have run the first chance I got to. I can see him ending up in prison long term. He says really disgusting things about girls and his sisters. There have been incidents in school with him and girls too. I hope you the best, and your mom's first priority should have been your mental well-being because you are her child. But instead, she wants you to be with her just as miserable. WTF. You deserve better than this. Yep, my mom stopped putting me first when she married the guy whose son was over the top clingy with me. And she never tried to make it better. She just expected me to tolerate it. Not the a-hole. You are a child and are not responsible for your stepbrother. You need to take care of yourself, and you're doing the right thing by taking yourself out of a toxic situation. I'm glad I had the option to do that. Without my dad, I'd be in a really uncomfortable place for another 2 years.